I think there is only one thing I could say about radio, is that I'm extremely jealous. Radio craft in South Africa is really, really top class. It's world class, I think. The writing, the acting, the direction, the executions, it's fantastic, because in most countries you always have this discussion when it comes to film. A lot of people have discussions like, yeah, but we don't have this Hollywood budgets to make huge productions. But when it comes to radio, you have no excuse. Radio, that's theater of the mind. I can bring in 50 elephants, 100 top models, whatever. I can bring anything in, because it's all about theater of the mind. So I'm always very critical when it comes to radio jury, because I accept no excuse. But then I came to South Africa and heard the radio, and the only thing I could do was be very silent and modest, because your craft is 100 times better than ours. It's fantastic. Radio was of a very, very, very high level. On Mercedes-Benz particularly not. I just think it's wonderfully crafted, as I said before. It's just so well written. My first reaction was, can I give each of them a Grand Prix for writing, and can I hire that copywriter? That was my first reaction. It's very well done. It's very well written. It got my attention from the very, very beginning until the very last word. So it's really good.
The car ahead had the kind of gleam that could only be achieved by a team of manservants with Seal Club chamois. I pull my car closer. The driver I see has the mocha skin of a small Mauritian child, literally, and cheekbones that you could shave fancy ham on. He wears the bat-like robes of a blood-sucking viscount, or lawyer, I guess lawyer, and accelerate forward. On the console, I see a doll of the "show us where he touched you" on this anatomical replica kind. I notice several dog hairs on the driver's jacket, shed by a small jewellery-wearing terrier owned by his high-maintenance wife. Again, I move in a tad closer. I spot the heavy cufflinks engraved with the two jauntily crossed crutches and neck brace that make up the driver's prestigious family crest. I inhale his car fumes, which smell of filet mignon and orphan tears. I edge closer. Our gazes meet. I lock eyes with a man who laughed in Old Yeller. He mouths the words, "cha-ching," just as I hear the cautionary beep of my Mercedes-Benz collision prevention assist with following distance control, reminding me that the closer I get, the more dangerous things are bound to become.
It touched me. I know it's always a bit easier to make a campaign for a non-profit than for a commercial brand. But on the other hand, what they did is didn't make a commercial. They really demonstrated to the people what English classes can do. And they demonstrated it really literally by having that girl every day again reading the same text. And then you feel and hear how our English improves, and you can understand easily how English classes can help her move forward afterwards when she really has to study. So it gave me goosebumps. I thought it was a wonderful way of demonstrating what English classes can do to students. And I have to admit, it was my personal Grand Prix. But like in any award, and it's completely logic, you cannot give the Grand Prix to a non-profit. But I do want those people to know that they deserve a Grand Prix for me. So in my mind, my mental Grand Prix is that one.
South Africa, the Rainbow Nation, has 11 official languages. Constitutionally, each is equal. Yet English is only spoken by less than 10% of the population, but is taught as a second language at 80% of our schools, which means most learners are not competent in this language. So imagine their understanding of maths and science, which are taught in English. And how will they cope at a tertiary level? Because 16 of our 21 universities teach in English. Could the 50% university dropout rate have something to do with this language barrier? Could the solution be teaching all learners English as a first language? One school at a time, a registered NGO wanted to test what difference 1 week's English tutoring could make. So we decided to perform an experiment on national radio. To kick it off, we started the language debate in the media.
Showing there's a difference. If you start learning in first language, your other subjects also improve.
Then it was time to perform the experiment. We took one learner, one tutor, 1 week. Each morning she was recorded reading a radio spot and then spent the afternoon with her tutor. On Monday, Lesego was off to a slow start.
Hello, I'm Lesego. I'm in grade 8 at Itirele Zenzele High School in Deep Slot.
On Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, we heard a daily improvement.
Hello, it is Lesego again. With 1 week of extra English classes, my English can get better. I am part of an experiment with one school at a time. In 5 days can make a difference. Imagine what 5 years could do.
By Friday, Lesego's reading had improved from 108 words a minute to 152 words a minute. Her comprehension and confidence also improved dramatically.
I think I sound much better now. 1 week of English classes has helped me. And I think all nanas should also get help, if English is not their first language either.
Using these findings, one school at a time is raising money to employ a full-time first language English teacher at Fort Hare High School. Because if this is what 5 days of tuition can do, imagine what 5 years could do.
It's so that funny. The way he pronounces that. The voice is fantastic. And for me especially, I think there was a 3-piece campaign or 4-piece campaign. They were all as good, really, really good. I also understood from the other jury members that it's not just the first year, that they're doing this for 2-3 years now, always with the same voice. So it's not just a campaign, it's much more than that. And then you also had, it's a separate piece, which was the live one, where Frank.net did this live, the same commercial but then live on radio. Also very funny. I think it's also awarded. So overall I decided to give the Grand Prix to Frank.net because I have to concentrate a little less than on Mercedes. So it was between Mercedes and Frank.net, and I have to admit that on Mercedes I have to concentrate a bit harder, and on Frank.net it just flows in, it makes me laugh, it's easy. I can imagine myself in the car getting home when I don't feel like concentrating anymore, and then Frank.net stays in my mind, and probably Mercedes will lose the battle there.
Death is laughing with a mouthful of Brazil nuts, swimming after a big lunch, or poking a pile of leaves with a stick just to see what's in there. Death doesn't have to try very hard, but thankfully, with Frank Life Cover, neither do you. Just SMS Frank to 43001. We'll call you right back and you can be covered by the end of the call. That's Frank to 43001. SMS rates and T's and C's apply. Frank.net is a licensed financial services provider.